Joseph.
Yes.
Can you knock and shoot?
Apparently.
You can in California.
Hey, dude, put that back, dude.
Hey, bro, I'm 2-2.
Hey, dude, come out.
2-2.
Shots fired, officer needs help. Shots fired, officer needs help.
What you got, buddy? I got 2-2.
Hey, come out with your hands up, man.
All right, bro. Let's see your head.
Come out. Come out with your hands
I
up.
got 2 hands.
Hey, dude, turn around. Turn around. Come down to your
Go
knees.
down on your knees. Down on your knees. Down. Put your hands on your head. Hands on your head. Lay down flat. Flat on the ground. Flat on the ground. You got it?
Yeah.
I'm going left. Listen.
All right. Are you hit?
No. I'm scared, bro.
Put your other hand behind your back.
Is there anybody else in the house? No.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, dude, put that back.
Is that a gun, Bobby?
2-2. I got 2-2.
What you got, Bobby?
I got 2-2.
Now, fortunately, that officer brought his strobe light to the party. I know, yeah, you love that strobe light on the front of a Glock.
Well, yeah, I don't know what in case there's a rave breaks out.
We've been invited to a rave. So. But anyhow.
You're like, that guy can't beatbox for anything.
But these two guys, right? So they're knocking at the door. And of course,
Saying nothing.
acting like drug dealers, by the way, acting like,
Or an NCO.
yeah, but
Like, guy must have been a first sergeant.
either way, you're answering that door knock with a gun in your hand.
Yeah.
And he does. And then he gets shot at for it.
Yeah. Thank God.
Not shot, but shot at.
Now, let's look at this video. I mean, we looked at the video, but I mean, the guy that was shooting would have been totally justified. Totally justified. If you saw in the video where he comes to the door with the gun behind his back.
Okay, now I'm going to talk like a lawyer. Justified in what sense? Criminally or civilly?
Both. Okay. The officer, what choice did he have?
Well, the choice begins with the door knock. In other words, do you announce your presence as a police officer? You're in uniform. You've been called to the scene. There's a disturbance. You're trying to get someone to come to the door. We know the Second Amendment exists. We know that firearms ownership exists. We know that people answer doors with guns in their hands. It happens.
Uh-huh. Okay. The guy had a gun in his hand, and the police were called there for a disturbance. There was a guy with a gun screaming and hollering.
Okay.
Okay. So they're already at a disturbance call.
Okay.
Okay. The guy, his actions to me, okay.
Go on.
Are he opens the door with the gun behind his back, hiding it like a turd does.
Okay.
A criminal. Okay. Then he shows the gun for some reason. I don't know what he was thinking. And then realizes the officer is now scared. He doesn't immediately drop the gun and put his hands up. He does what a turd does. Okay. He does what somebody who is, their actions are indicative of somebody who's going to assault you. He hides the gun again behind his back and then brings the hand up to right here, right? And so the officer, in his perception, in this second and a half, he's got to make this snap decision where the guy has got the gun, hides it, and then brings the hand up. Well, the officer is already on his sights. Well, not really, I guess. He was already up here anyway, but
You missed him.
the officer
Twice.
Everybody in his department's going to show him this video. Okay. He was already up on his sights. The guy brings the hand up like so, and it's clear, and you can see slowed down in the video. He brings his hand up here, but where would you bring your hand up if you had a gun in it going to shoot? In the same exact spot, right? So the guy's actions, to me, the officer, you say he didn't have any choice. All shootings are a choice.
Yeah.
Okay, all shootings are a choice. No police officer in the history of police officers has ever had to shoot anybody. They made a choice. Sometimes their choice was to live, or their choice was to get shot.
Okay, the person answering the door. What if, I'm just what-ifing this for a moment, but what if he was the one whose life was threatened earlier? Yeah, he may have had a weapon, and yes, he may have been shouting. That all can be true at the same time as he's defending himself from somebody else threatening him, and then he goes to his apartment, closes the door, he's got his gun, he's thinking, okay, I'm just going to chill out, and hopefully those crazy people will go away. Then somebody walks up to his door and does this, knocks on the door, and doesn't say a word.
Sir, I will not entertain the hypothetical life itself is vexing enough. None of this happened.
I know that. Well,
what did happen is the guy has the gun was the one who was involved in the disturbance.
But sometimes I'm trying to explain his either rational or irrational response. Is it irrational or rational to answer your door with a gun in your hand? In many aspects, that's irrational.
Mm-hmm.
But if your life had just been threatened by your neighbor, it's rational. Okay, but now the police show up. They're knocking on your door. They're not announcing themselves. They're not saying, "Hey, this is the,
Yeah, that was tactically stupid.
yeah, the police department. Can you come to the door? We're with the police department.
Menifee,
Yeah, Menifee Police Department. We'd like to talk to you. Like I've done a million times as a Houston police officer. You just not, hey, Houston police, and you're shouting, Houston police, Houston police.
Yeah.
Okay. And you see it on body camera with HPD officers all the time where they're, yelling, Houston police, and they're yelling as they're going through. Okay. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
So now there's this conundrum, right? This guy might be in fear of his life because of his neighbor. The police are in fear of their life because of him. Everyone's in fear of their life. So somebody has to get shot at.
I didn't say somebody needed to be. I didn't say he needed to be shot. Apparently, he didn't need to be shot. Thank God the guy missed. Okay,
Yes.
I'm saying
Inshallah.
God willing. Thank goodness he missed for that officer. I'm happy he didn't. Now, if he had have shot him, he would have been justified, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah. The guy had a gun. He hid the gun and then threw the gun and then tried to act like he didn't have the gun. These are things that are indicative of an armed suspect that is intending to strike.
Or it's somebody who just realizes it's a police officer and
yeah, that's what turds do. They hide.
Okay.
They subterfuge. They try to, and he threw the gun behind him, then act like he never had it. Okay, that's what he was trying to do. Instead of dropping the gun immediately and putting his hands up.
Okay.
Or closing the door and saying, okay, I had the gun because I was afraid. I'm coming out now with my hands up. Okay. Or whatever it is he did. Instead, he chose to hide it, use subterfuge to try to fool the officer. And that's what the officer saw in that split second. That you've seen that look, that north, south, east, west look, when you look at somebody and they go, okay, they're up to no good. Okay, and you know it because you're a police officer. Well, it happened in that quarter second.
Right.
In that quarter of a second, he made the decision to hide the gun. Well, the police officer is already at a call where there's a guy with a disturbance, a guy with a gun, and he's yelling and screaming.
Where was the shooting that we went over where the guy in his 70s answered the door with it looked like a jawbone or something with teeth in it?
Yeah, some sort of impact weapon.
Yeah, and he wound up getting shot with a taser by the officers, but You know, he did the same thing. He answered his door because he had just been in a fight with his neighbor. He had a weapon in his hand. You're right. And he answered the door. Same thing. They knocked on the door. He opened it up. And then he realized it was the police, and he went and put it on top of a.
You set it down.
Okay. Well,
then he wouldn't come out of the house.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah, the guy would not come out of the house. He was involved in a disturbance.
Of course, well, they tasered him. They didn't shoot him.
Exactly. And he hit his head. And the only reason the officer got in trouble is because he was an older guy, and the news took it as you can't tase elderly people, and you got to watch behind them in case they're going to hit their head on something. No, none of that's true.
Okay.
The officer tased him. Did he tase him too quickly? I don't think so. Okay. He didn't come out of the house. I would come out of the house. You would comply. You would do everything you could, especially being a police officer and an attorney.
Yeah.
You would know that, okay, this guy might shoot me. Okay.
But in this case, I mean, I don't know, man. I would be completely on the officer's side if they had announced their presence. You know, Menifee Police Department, we're here to talk to you. We've been called out here. We need you to come to the door and talk to us.
Well, there's nothing that says you have to announce your presence.
I know that.
You know, I mean, I'm like, I don't.
It's just a messy situation.
Well, it was a really bad.
I mean, I'm
bad tactically. Anyway,
here's what I'm saying: if I was the chief of police, I'm not suspending anyone.
No,
I'm not giving anyone a written reprimand. I'm not going after anyone because police work is messy,
and we're not going to give you medals either.
Yeah. We're not going to high five you for.
Especially, I mean, they show up. They split the door for one thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we've talked about that. You split the door only if you're going to enter. If you're going to call somebody out, don't split the door, because what happens every time you split the door and they come out?
Suspect gets between
suspect needs to be. They get in between you and the other officers, and they need to be shot. That's the only time anybody ever comes out. Okay, if they intend to do you harm, it seems like.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, don't split the door. Get on one side. Either side would have been fine. And then when the other guy ran, the officer who was on the left side, the one who did not shoot, he's pointing his gun right at the other officer. Okay, how do I know? Because his light, then strobe, then light, then strobe, that he doesn't know how to use because he's trying to figure it out how to get rid of it, is pointing right at the officer, and you can see him moving his thumb. When he's doing that, he's drifting over here, and then if you watch the video of the officer who shot, you can see the light right in his eyes. Well, that means it's pointing right at you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that tactically, it was not a sound incident in the first place, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Okay, but was he justified in the shooting? Yes, he was justified. What do they call it? Lawful but awful, you know? Okay. The stupid ass. Anyway.
Where'd we get that?
You know what? The first time I heard it was Chuck McClellan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I call him Chuck.
Because you all like
because
this.
we like this. And
no, but that's a good point. If the flashlight is pointing at you, the gun is pointing at you.
Yeah, exactly. If that light beam is coming right in your eyes, okay, that means the barrel is pointed right at you.
Yeah, move.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or if you're doing it to another officer and you have the light on him, you go, wow, my light is really lighting him up, and he's doing this. Okay, maybe you should move your light. Okay, there was the guy who ran. Now, I'm not saying that running is a bad thing. Okay, that's a good thing to do from gunshots, is run from them till you got good cover. If you look underneath, he could have run right back under and got behind with the other officer on the same side. There was nothing stopping him from doing it. Think. Don't get into a crossfire situation. If the guy had to come out in the middle of them and started shooting, what chances are you going to shoot each other?
Yeah,
there's a very good chance of it.
Yeah, so that's it's actually a really good point though from this shooting is, be aware of your backdrop, and if you're lighting up your fellow officers, well then your backdrop is bad. So
yeah, exactly.
Get that weapon situated. But still, I understand you don't have to announce your presence.
Yeah,
there's nothing that requires it.
It certainly would have helped.
Yeah,
it would have helped.
I think,
and we did it for a reason. We did it because it worked. We did it because we wanted people to know we were out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so just knocking on the door
And
loudly like that.
And that's not to say that, okay, so people
an angry knock.
Yeah, well, people are going to say, well, if you announce you're a police officer, people will start shooting at you. If you don't announce you're a police officer, people are going to start shooting at you anyway. I mean,
okay, and you're okay. What if you say, if you want to say the what ifs, this guy had been involved in that disturbance, and you knocked hard like that? It sounds like an angry knock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so announce yourself.
Yeah.
Always? No. Okay. Always, never say never, never say always, right? Okay. Right. I wouldn't always announce myself, or I wouldn't say I'd never announce myself, either one. But in this case, it certainly would have, probably the guy wouldn't have come to the door with a gun. I come to the door, my door, when I answer the front door with a gun every time. Okay. But I have it in my right hand, and I open the door and I lean to the left. Okay. No matter if I don't know who it is. Okay. There's a way to come to the door with a gun. Okay. And when you see a police officer draw his gun, say, don't shoot, and put your hands up. Okay. That's what you do. You don't hide it behind you and act like you didn't have it. And then bring your hand up and do this right here. Okay. Because this is the same spot you would shoot or put your hand up.
Right.
This is giving up.
But I'm going to have a hard time convicting this guy if I'm a juror sitting in a jury box in a criminal trial for, say, resistance or aggravated assault, deadly weapon, or displaying a firearm. You know, I'm going to have a really hard time convicting him.
Oh yeah, yeah. He didn't do anything illegal. I mean, he didn't do anything.
But they handcuffed him and arrested him.
Well, yeah, because the guy shot at him. You always arrest people you shoot at. I don't know if the guy went to jail. I don't know. I mean, you know, it's. He didn't. I don't see that he broke any laws. But you don't have to break a law to get shot.
No, that's true.
You know, that's and it turned out well. I'm glad the officer did not hit him. Okay, I'm glad he didn't hit him.
Very good. Yeah,
he may need to work on that side alignment a little bit.
Yes, front sight
is the
most important
trigger
sight.
squeeze. You know? Front sight focus.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Comment below. We always read them. Like and subscribe. We always appreciate that. Share it with your friends. You know, that's what helps the channel.
Please share.
And we'll see you in the next video.